began 89 years ago with a nearly 2,000-mile train ride. Knute Rockne traveling his football team from America's heartland to its Pacific coast.
The Irish journey to the Los Angeles Coliseum to meet Southern California.
In the decades to follow, the clashes would become part of sports history. Tradition, passion, and pride colliding every fall.
Notre Dame has won it! And give Southern California one of its greatest victories ever. Notre Dame lived through a nightmare.
The ball's incomplete. Notre Dame takes over.
Going to try to sneak it ahead. Touchdown, SC!
This past week, the story at Southern California has been an excruciating one. A coach dismissed amid unprecedented circumstances. A crisis still unfolding. A chapter yet to be fully resolved. But tonight offers a respite from controversy.
Touchdown, SC!
To the playing field where nothing else matters.
Touchdown, Notre Dame!
Two schools from completely different settings. Two programs filled with tradition, passion, and pride.
Fight!
And together once again on a chilly night at Notre Dame Stadium, it's the Trojans of USC and the 14th ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in what has long been referred to as the greatest intersectional rivalry in college football. They are cranked up again, another sellout crowd of 80,000 plus awaiting the latest outcome and for both teams to take the field. Here come the Irish. So Notre Dame home for the second straight week since the crushing loss to Clemson. Brian Kelly in his 6th season, hoping to keep his team in the college football playoff conversation by year's end. Can't afford another slip-up. His offense, led by quarterback DeShone Kizer, still just his 5th collegiate start and first experience with this rivalry. So out come the Trojans of Southern California. And there has been an earnest rallying cry from the entire team for Clay Helton this week, thrust into the head coaching role. And he's got a stabilizing influence in senior quarterback Cody Kessler, who picked apart the Irish last year. For Notre Dame, it has been another season of injuries to key players, but DeShone Kizer in for Malik Zaire through that late game winner against Virginia to keep the Irish unbeaten before 4 turnovers in the second half were just too much to overcome in the rain at Clemson. USC began the season in the top 10, the conference favorite, but in a wild up and down year, has already lost 2 conference games at home, including the game to Washington, where Sarkisian last coached before he was fired on Monday, one day after being put on an indefinite leave following athletic director Pat Hayden's statement that he was not healthy. And the man who replaced him amid all the chaos on an interim basis, Clay Helton, standing by with Catherine Tappett. Catherine.
Coach, you've been on the job less than a week, but you've had to prepare your team for their biggest rival. After all this group has been through, how have they responded?
Unbelievably. They know they got opportunity to represent University of Southern California. These are great kids at a great venue at an unbelievable rivalry game.
With 2 losses already on the season midway through October, many believe the Trojan season is over, but what would a win tonight against Notre Dame in this stadium mean for this program?
We live by our motto, fight on, and that's what we're going to do tonight.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Dan?
Thanks, Catherine. So, Doug Flutie, that is the latest backdrop to what really is one of the great rivalries in all of sports. Clearly, this is a different kind of coaching change than the one that occurred a couple of years ago, also at midseason. But the USC Trojans, off of NCAA sanctions last year, always drama for USC, but they seem to handle it pretty well.
Yeah, we talked to some of the kids this week, and the upperclassmen have been through this before. For them, it's almost business as usual. It's not affecting them. Shoot, they're here in South Bend. It's Notre Dame, USC, one of the greatest rivalries in college football. That's all in the rearview mirror.
And a guy that's probably used to it more than anyone is the veteran quarterback for USC, Cody Kessler, one of the best in the country.
The most efficient quarterback in USC history. He does not make mistakes with the football. He's got great playmakers around him. His job, distribute the ball. Brian Kelly said it. You give him time, he'll pick you apart.
Well, he saw it last year when Kessler lit up the Irish secondary for 6 touchdown passes out west. As far as Notre Dame goes, what is the key for the Irish tonight?
Run the football. CJ Prosise, give him the ball. He's been the workhorse all year long. Great offensive line. The strength of USC's defense is their secondary. So run the football.
So we are ready to kick it off. Weather 42 degrees. It'll feel more like in the low 30s as the night goes on. Los Angeles right now 78 degrees and sunny. So a very different scene here in South Bend. USC won the toss, will receive. So the Trojans will get their hands on the football first. And Adoree Jackson awaits. One of the most dangerous kickoff return men in the country. Returned a couple for touchdowns last year in his freshman year. So it is Tyler Newsome to kick off. And it will be Juju Smith-Schuster to return it, as Brian Kelly wanted to keep it out of the hands of Adoree Jackson with some directional kicking techniques. So let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by DirecTV. First USC on offense. Trojans banged up at wide receiver, so Smith-Schuster will be relied upon even more tonight. Up front, they lost Max Turk, one of the best in the country, if not the best centers in the country last week, with a knee injury. So Toa Lobendon gets his first start, even though he's a veteran on the offensive line. So here is Kessler, coming off one of his worst games of his career last Thursday night against Washington. And this is Trey Madden, one of a group of running backs that will see action tonight, picking up a big first down carry.
Last week, USC got away from the running attack a little too soon. They hammered the football over 8 yards a carry for most of the game. They need to be able to run the football.
And those are the stats from last year. Most efficient passing season in USC history as Madden gets the call again. And this time, Notre Dame is there to meet him. Isaac Rochelle led the charge.
Trey Madden decides to cut this backside. He might have had a shot right up the middle. Instead, he makes a bad decision to go outside where leverage was already there.
So you'll see Trey Madden. You'll see Justin Davis. You'll see a freshman in Ronald Jones. You could see as many as 4 running backs for the Trojans tonight. The loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11. The fake to Madden, and Kessler's first pass out to Madden in the flat for another good gain. So that's going to be another USC first down on the 2nd and 11 call.
Great patience in the pocket, looking up the field, knowing down and distance, and then just hit your swing out to the outside. It's a zone coverage. See it from behind, looking downfield, not there, turn, hit the swing. Great decision. He doesn't make mistakes with the football.
And USC already into Irish territory at the Notre Dame 45. Ronald Jones, the freshman, who they're really high on, gets his first carry of the game inside the Notre Dame 45. As we take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by DirecTV and the Notre Dame defense. Number 91, Sheldon Day. Huge key tonight for the Irish up front. Jalen Smith continues to lead the team in tackles all over the field at his linebacking spot. And in the secondary, it's a big night for Kivari Russell, handling all that speed of the USC wideouts. Kessler feels the pressure, going down the sidelines, and it is complete to Juju Smith-Schuster.
What a throw. Kivari Russell in the hip pocket of Schuster right there in coverage. It is a perfect throw. Great job going to the ball. Great catch, gets him down inside the 10-yard line. I mean, you can't cover it any better. The ball was put in there perfectly. The only possibility could have been to find the ball in the air.
And you could see Smith-Schuster kind of shush the crowd there. 1st and goal for USC. Trey Madden looking for the goal line, gets it down to the 2 or 3 yard line. 2nd and goal. So a positive opening drive here for the Trojans amid all the chaos this week out west.
That is all in the rearview mirror. They're playing football.
And you've got Adoree Jackson who is split out to the near side to the right side of Kessler. A three-way player who will play corner tonight on defense. There he is in motion, and also a part of special teams. They fake it to him. Kessler rolling to his right and in for the opening score. Kessler caps it off. They had the big strike to Juju Smith-Schuster, and USC quickly out on top.
Jackson's in the game, so he gets a lot of attention off the play action. Rochelle loses contain. Kessler is mobile. He's not a running quarterback, but he's agile enough to make some people miss, move around a little bit.
Well, this certainly has to calm the nerves of USC and everybody watching out west. The big play, the 37-yarder to Juju Smith-Schuster. We told you that the wideouts, a lot of them banged up for USC. Smith-Schuster with a big strike, and Kessler carries it in on his own. 7-0 SC. And an emotional week out west for USC on top of Notre Dame 7-0. In the 87th meeting, as CJ Sanders comes up on a short kick, and he gets popped at the 25. And that is where DeShone Kizer and company will begin for the Notre Dame offense. Will Fuller and CJ Prosise continue to be the big threats for Kizer. Ronnie Stanley continues to anchor that offensive line. Although at left guard has been a little bit of a question. Alex Bars gets the start for the second straight week after Quentin Nelson continues to come off of an injury. And here is Kizer in his 5th start for Notre Dame. After taking over for the injured Malik Zaire. Play action on first down, going deep downfield, and Will Fuller on the opening play for Notre Dame is going to go all the way. 75 yards.
Dory Jackson, the best athlete on the field, number 2 in coverage, and Will Fuller runs right by him. No safety help because of the play action fake. It was a hard play action fake. USC trusts their corners in man-to-man coverage. The safety gets drawn up, and Will Fuller blows by Jackson.
And what did DeShone Kizer tell us yesterday? He said these USC corners are good, but they haven't seen the speed of Will Fuller and company. And on the very first play from scrimmage, Fuller lights up the board as Yoon pokes it through. Notre Dame with a 75-yard Kizer to Fuller touchdown after USC took it down the field. We're tied at 7. Doug, we were down the field before the game and just soaking in the setting here. USC, Notre Dame, and what an electric start it's been for this great rivalry.
I don't think you can fit any more people on the sidelines today. Star-studded cast down there, and they get a great explosive start by both teams.
And there again is that directional kicking. They are keeping it out of the hands of Adoree Jackson. This is Juju Smith-Schuster, who then pitches it to Adoree Jackson, and Jackson gets it across the 45. So USC kind of says, take that directional kick.
I love it. I love it. That's 2 athletes on the field just playing ball. Caution to the wind. Get it in the hands of your best athlete, which Jackson is the fastest guy on the field. I know Will Fuller just blew. Well, maybe not. They'll have to run a 100-yard dash after the game.
Well, we know who won the last dash.
Yes. But USC wants the ball in number 2's hands.
He will play 3 ways. He will go about 15 to 20 snaps, Adoree Jackson will, on offense. And then he's got his cornerback positions, but obviously just burned by Fuller. So Kessler begins this drive with a pass to Daquan Hampton. And it's a good gain quickly into Notre Dame territory, close to the 45-46. Kivari Russell on the coverage after a gain of 8.
Kessler is just so efficient, though. I think he's a little mechanical because his fundamentals are just so sound.
Kessler sets up, complete, and getting the first down is Darius Rogers, and then some. Rogers was a question mark before the game, slowed by a hamstring injury, but he picks up 15.
It's just an under route, short yardage situations, just need 3 yards. breaks a tackle off the under route. Joe Schmidt just can't come up and make it. He's in position. It would have been right near the first down marker. Athleticism wins out.
Yeah, look pretty healthy there. So fresh set of downs for Kessler, and he's going to the goal line, overthrowing Smith-Schuster. Kivari Russell was on him.
Kivari Russell did a little better job that time of getting his hands on the receiver early, and Schuster was a little slow getting off the line of scrimmage. But Kessler slinging it around, spreading it out to his athletes.
On 2nd down and 10, Justin Davis gets his first carry of the game. Davis, a junior from Stockton, California. We mentioned there's a new center for the Trojans this week, and Lobadan has his own style, Doug.
He holds the tip of the ball, keeps the ball vertical, and just flicks it back. That's a great snap. We were out there at practice this week, and there were quite a few low snaps.
3rd and 7 as USC tries to keep this drive alive. Just inside the Notre Dame 30. Kessler with time, open, caught, short of the first down to Davis. Joe Schmidt on the tackle for Notre Dame. And so now on 4th down, that should bring out the field goal unit for USC.
It's a nice job by Joe Schmidt making a short tackle to tackle the runner short of the first down. He's in position every time, closed on his man, and makes the play.
So this will be a 42-yard attempt for Alex Wood. His first year as the field goal kicker for the Trojans. His long has been a 36-yarder, so he's just met a new career high and puts USC up 10-7 with 8:46 remaining in the first. Although it was illegal, the play later became known as the Bush Push. But again, what, 3 years ago, Doug? The rule changed again, and now we're seeing guys push guys around.
If it would happen today, it's legal, and we've seen it all year long. With the Notre Dame offensive line getting involved in it, Arizona State had a big one.
CJ Sanders fakes it. The reverse on the kickoff return. He's still on his feet. He's going to be brought down at about the 25-yard line. More starting lineups brought to you by DirecTV as we take a look at the USC defense. Up front, the Trojans a bit vulnerable. Even though they've got some veteran starters up front, they really don't have a real edge rusher. So Sua Cravens at linebacker is the best blitzer for USC. And in the secondary, should be a great matchup with Adoree Jackson, that three-way player, but he's already been burned by Will Fuller earlier tonight, which put Notre Dame on the board with just one play in. So this is CJ Prosise. Another one of the big keys for Notre Dame. He eludes an defender and all the way up the sideline. So how about the first 2 plays of scrimmage for the Irish tonight? That one good for 31, along with that huge 75-yard pass play to Fuller.
This is well defended by USC. It's all jammed up inside, and they just lose contain. And speed to the outside. CJ Prosise is big, but he is fast. He accelerates and gets the corner.
That'll improve the yards per carry average, which is already over 7 for Prosise. Kizer, complete. Chris Brown, close to the first down. A big gain for Brown of 19.
Really nice job of patience for Kizer. His eyes are downfield the entire time. He keeps his head up. Nothing there. It's only a 4-man rush. He was in a spread formation. There's a lot of space to move around, and eventually Chris Brown works open.
So just short of the first. It'll bring up 2nd and 1 as the Irish have ripped off several big chunk plays already tonight, trailing 10-7. Prosise, one of those big chunk plays. And even when he gets hit, he kind of takes the pile a couple more yards for a gain of 5. We got an update on USC Athletic Director Pat Hayden, who collapsed on the sidelines before the game. He is okay. We've gotten word from USC officials that he's okay. He's still in the locker room, but that is good news that Hayden appears to be okay. An 8 true freshmen playing on this Trojan defense as Prosise gets the call again. And another big game for Prosise into the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. 25 yards on that one.
Nick Wisher on the outside at tight end. Working to the outside, gets the kick out block right up underneath and through the gap. And that's acceleration. When CJ Prosise sees a window of opportunity, he accelerates through into the secondary.
So the big stars for Notre Dame coming through tonight. Will Fuller and CJ Prosise, the first 2 touchdowns, as Prosise is already up to 61 yards on the ground. Justin Yoon makes it a 14-0 Notre Dame lead. High scoring game. We're just a little more than halfway through the first quarter. It was Fuller earlier. CJ Prosise racking up more yards on a great night at Notre Dame Stadium. And we've got a wild start here at Notre Dame Stadium, as both teams have scored on their first 2 possessions. Notre Dame leads it 14-10, and this is Adoree Jackson. And Jackson spun around maybe to the 20. Kessler right on the money to Darius Rogers. Well short with the first down. Cole Luke on the coverage.
Kessler turned this ball loose, right in rhythm, right on time. And Jalen Smith was running out underneath that hitch, just missed it. But when you throw the thing with perfect timing, defense doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, there's a reason that Kessler set or tied 6 school records last season. Just so accurate, about 70%. And that's the mark he's been on this season. He's got 3rd and 8, low snap, has time, buys more, and just throws it out of bounds. That'll bring up 4th down and the punt unit for the Trojans.
Cole Luke on Jalen Green with a double move. He stayed right with him, and that's the guy that Kessler wanted to go to initially. Then he pulls it down and scrambles. Pretty solid coverage, turned loose there. Juju Schuster-Smith, or whatever, Smith-Schuster, I apologize.
Oh, it's a block. Alvarado's punt is blocked, and Notre Dame is all over it for another score. Amir Carlisle with a touchdown. Alvarado never had a chance. And that was Equiminius St. Brown, 86, I believe, who got the hand on it.
Young freshman wide receiver that's got minimal playing time, great on special teams, flies through and just laid out to make the block.
So now Notre Dame is 3 for 3 as far as touchdowns go, and they did this defensively. 5:04 left. Notre Dame up 21-10. What a pace we have tonight. Still 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. 31 total points scored. Equiminius St. Brown, one of the impressive freshmen for Brian Kelly's team, with the block punt and recovered by Amir Carlisle to make it an 11-point advantage for Notre Dame. So the defense has scored once, offense twice. And Adoree Jackson is going to down this. And the USC Trojans will come out to the 25 after along with 5 sacks for Kessler. So really an uncharacteristic outing for a guy that was in the Heisman conversation before the season began. He avoids another sack here and then just dumps it downfield incomplete to bring up 2nd down and long. He wanted Rogers.
Again, you have to get pressure on Cody Kessler, move him off his spot, because he will kill you from the pocket. And Kessler shows enough athleticism to continue to keep plays alive.
Just saw Van Gorder. The key for Notre Dame on defense, get pressure on Kessler. And if he just sits back there and has a chance and has time, he's just going to pick you apart like he did a year ago. Justin Davis Picking apart the Irish defense for another first down on the ground, and Davis still on his feet down to the 36-yard line. Trombetti and Rochelle finally brought him down, but he gets 33 on another big play here.
There was a blitz coming from the opposite side of the field, so both defenders in the defensive line area were linebackers, Jalen Smith and Joe Schmidt, and they were in a stand-up position and got blown off the ball on that side. The USC offensive line just came off the ball.
And they give it to Davis again, this time stopped at the line of scrimmage. So we've seen that running back by committee for USC, Sheldon Day on the stop, and that's the big key we talked about for Notre Dame's defense. A guy that is enjoying an injury-free season. And I guess Van Gorder told him at the beginning of the week, Sheldon, we need a big night from you against the Trojans.
He was smiling in meetings about being healthy, and he made an inside move on that particular play. And every time he's going down to the inside, it seems he beats his man. When he makes that inside move, he knows he has an opportunity to get into the backfield.
Adoree Jackson is in motion to the near side on second down and 10. He fakes it Jackson's way. Has a lot of time back there, and a high throw hauled in by Rogers. But Cole Luke was there for a short gain, just of 2.
Cody Kessler's hoping for a double move route out to the right side over here. It doesn't happen for him, so he comes back to the left and can't find anything. Throws late out into the flat, and I think it was probably trying to throw this high and away and just send it incomplete.
Rogers, who's nursing the hamstring, has the most catches by the Trojans yet so far with his 3rd. But here on 3rd and 8, Clay Helton, who calls the plays for USC, he had that role even when Sarkisian was here beginning this season, calls this one, and it's complete to Davis for another first down. And another flag. For the moment, a gain of 19 for Davis.
Pass interference. Offense number 89. A 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Huge flag there against USC's Daquan Hampton.
And it really doesn't have to. Yes, it does. He came off blocking, knowing that they were going to dump the ball down to Davis, and Davis just hit the crease and went. It was a nicely designed play. The timing may have been a little off, hoping that the ball would be in the back's hand before that block happened. It did not.
Helton looking for further explanation, but that takes away the first down of the big game. It backs up the Trojans almost to midfield with a 3rd and 23. Adoree Jackson is to the near side. Kessler across the middle, and it's complete again to Rogers, but he doesn't even get back to the stick. Gain of 11, and that'll bring up 4th down and long, with 40 seconds and running to go in the opening quarter.
USC's considering going for this.
Well, they're kind of in that, no man's land here. Too long for a field goal, but 4th and 12. Well, we've seen plenty of big plays tonight. See what Helton calls here. Again, plenty of time. Another flag comes down. Kessler's pass is deflected. And that was James Onwalu who knocked it down.
Again, though, knowing the situation, Kessler continues to hold on to the ball. The pass rush has to get there, or he will keep moving that ball up and down the field.
So with just 4 seconds left in the first quarter, this should be the final play. On 1st and 10 for Notre Dame. Up 21-10. Kizer flips it to Prosise. And then Prosise with more first down yardage. What kind of game is he going to have by the end of the night? Great start for Prosise. That's another gain of 12. And that brings us to the end of a wild first quarter at Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish 21, the Trojans 10. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Here's how crazy this opening quarter has been. Look at this line. Notre Dame 6 plays, 2:45 time of possession. They've got 21 points in 6 plays. Josh Adams to the left of Kizer, and Adams is going to get, nope, they fake it to him, and Kizer keeps it, fooled the USC defense. Kizer with another first down to the 20, a gain of 16.
Great patience on the read by Kizer. Putting the ball in the belly of Josh Adams, sees the close down on the defensive end or outside linebacker it is. Actually, he should have gotten a lot more out of that run. Chris Hawkins makes a heck of a tackle in the open field.
3 straight games for Kizer with at least a touchdown pass through the air and 1 on the ground. A long time since that has been done by an Irish quarterback. And Kizer on the mark. Sliding there for a gain of 2 or 3 was Alize Jones. 21 points in the first quarter. Most points in a quarter versus USC in the series history. And they've been playing this game since 1926.
Well, the way both teams were scoring initially there, I thought we were going for a record point scored in the quarter.
Third catch, 38 yards. Prosise this time gets stopped for maybe a yard.
Those deep comebacks on the outside are not easy throws. Those are probably the most difficult throw for a quarterback, especially one-on-one press coverage, although there at the end of the route, great separation, maybe a little hint of a push-off on the route.
Well, Kizer again his 5th start. And it was Malik Zaire who was injured in that game at Virginia, but it was Kizer who got the game winner with 12 seconds left to Will Fuller, and that's how he started his college career at Notre Dame. Zaire with a fractured ankle. Josh Adams gets loose, and Adams finally upended inside the Trojan 5. And that'll bring up another 1st and goal for Notre Dame. A gain of 26 on 2nd and long. And Alex Bars is down on the field for Notre Dame.
Well, Quentin Nelson, the guy Bars has replaced, was banged up initially, but did practice some this week. Just great strength. He's a big boy. Josh Adams, he's only a freshman, but he's got some size to him.
1st and goal from the 3. Kizer can't get loose. They might have lost a yard or 2 as Sua Cravens got in there for the Trojans.
This time Craven stays home. Kizer tries to wait him out. There's 21 on the corner here. He tries to wait him out, thinks he's going to get the edge. Craven stays home just enough to make the tackle.
Plenty of time for Kizer over the head of Prosise. 3rd and goal.
Great coverage in the secondary. Will Fuller was running the route. He got shut down, and that's where Kizer was looking. Held on to the ball. Creates a 3rd and 15. This is very difficult to score. These are interception situations. As a young quarterback, do not force the ball down the field here. Take it if it's there. Don't be afraid to dump it off and kick the field goal.
Kizer looking to the end zone. Knocked down. A good defensive play by Marvell Tell. One of those true freshmen back in the secondary for USC. Alize Jones, the intended receiver. And this is going to end up a field goal attempt.
Tell one-on-one as a safety with a tight end. Jones, who's a very athletic tight end, gets away with a little grab, but makes a great play on the ball at the end, getting a hand in there. USC decided to go all-out blitz, man-to-man coverage, and took a shot at it. They trust their man coverage.
So Justin Yoon, who hit a 52-yard field goal last week, his time expired in the first half. 3rd longest Notre Dame field goal in history, bangs this one through easily from 32 yards. So the Irish come up with at least 3 here, extend the lead by 14, 24-10 in the 2nd. So the first score of the second quarter goes the Irish way. Field goal by Yoon, 24-10. Notre Dame with 5:59 left in the opening half. Newsom's kick, rather short one. Again, directional kicking night for them as Adoree Jackson picks it up, evades some defenders and gets it out to the 25-yard line. 12 Hall of Famers now on each side for USC and Notre Dame. Adding to the illustrious history of this rivalry, Kessler begins, and here we go. Jalen Green downfield, and he's got Juju Smith-Schuster, and Notre Dame fooled again. 75 yards. Jalen Green, who came into the USC program as a quarterback in high school, and he threw a perfect one to Smith-Schuster.
And without warming up, wide receivers have to go in and do these double passes and make this accurate throw. Great job. I mean, the light goes off when you see a lateral. That was the blatant lateral, the first pass out to Jalen Green. Green, patient with his throw, delivers a strike. Right back on the board.
Man, that is a shocker for Notre Dame, who not seemingly too long ago was on the doorstep with a chance to really spread the score open. They got the turnover, got a field goal, but then USC comes up with a trick play. Kessler to Jalen Green, who hits Juju Smith-Schuster for the latest Trojan score. So back to the wild atmosphere at Notre Dame Stadium, as now each team has a one-play 75-yard touchdown drive. USC getting in the act on a gadget play. Jalen Green to Smith-Schuster. And so here is CJ Sanders bringing it out for Notre Dame, and he's got a big hole up the middle. And he bursts up to the 35-yard line before the kicker, Alex Wood, brought him down. Prosise. Gain of about 2 or 3. Prosise looking for another 100-yard game. 3 touchdowns last week versus Navy with 129 yards rushing. But just when you think the scoring is going to slow down, USC gets into the act, Doug.
Slowed down for a while, then 3 quick scores in a row. I think Notre Dame needs to keep riding. Prosise is the workhorse on 1st and 2nd down.
On 3rd and 3, Kizer unable to hold on. Would have been a first down, but Prosise, the throw was just a little low for him to bring it in. And that'll bring up 4th down.
4th down up at the own 40. The offense is staying on the field.
On 4th and 3, Kizer's still out there. And he is now going to back up and punt it. And Kizer, who was a second-team All-State punter in high school, this is something that Kelly told us yesterday. He said if we get into that field position, it's another way of keeping it out of the hands of Adoree Jackson. And there was your first example of it tonight. 24-17, it remains Irish. So with 4:04 left in the opening half, Kessler in there is being pressured. And good pressure on Kessler to get him out of his rhythm as we send you down to Catherine.
Well, Dan, just an update on offensive lineman Alex Bars. He was being worked on the sideline. He got up and walked gingerly to the locker room. He has a left ankle possible dislocation. They've taken him for x-rays.
Well, on the plus side, that was Sheldon Day who limped off the field earlier, who put the pressure on Kessler. And again, that one of the keys for Notre Dame's defense tonight. Adoree Jackson, and Jackson slices up, and Jackson could be gone. There's the speed of Adoree Jackson, and another huge play for USC. 83 yards. One play 75, 2 plays 84.
Speed kills, and you can see this happening. I'm sorry, inside receiver. You can see this happening from above. You saw the alley, and it's pure speed to split the alley. He gets some blocks, but he saw it happening in front of him, and it was just sheer speed to get through that gap.
And with 3:17 left in the opening half, Alex Wood makes it a 24-all game. Still, it's 14 unanswered by USC after Notre Dame had taken a 24-10 lead. They come back with a couple of huge plays, and we are locked at 24 at the break. As we check in with Catherine.
Coach, you led 21-10 at the end of the first quarter. What has changed since then?
2 big plays. I mean, they had 2 big plays, double pass and a screen. Gave them 2 big plays. They're, obviously a skilled team, but, mental breakdown in the back end of our defense on a double pass. And then a big screen that they hit to Adoree Jackson.
How do you eliminate those big plays in the second half?
They got to tackle.
Thanks, Coach. Dan?
Thanks, Catherine. Entertaining 87th meeting so far. Halftime here at Notre Dame Stadium. USC 24, Notre Dame 24. As we go to Jimmy Roberts and our NBC studio. Halftime at Notre Dame Stadium. The Trojans and Irish tied up at 24. Trojans had a chance to take the lead into the locker room as Alex Wood missed from 36 yards out, but the theme of the first half, Doug, big plays on both sides of the ball.
They're just tremendous athletes on the field right now, and no lead is going to be safe. It's pretty evident that you could be up by 3 scores, and that can disappear in a hurry because there's a lot of big plays, one play 80 yards.
Look at the first half numbers. Huge passing yards for Cody Kessler, 310 in the opening half. Will Fuller and Adoree Jackson each had 1 catch, good for huge touchdown gains. And there are some big numbers left tonight in the second half. Tied at 24. CJ Sanders awaits the kickoff from Alex Wood. And this is Sanders coming out from about the 8. Hit hard at the 25. Let's check in with Catherine.
Well, Dan, I spoke to USC head coach Clay Helton at halftime, and I asked him if this is what he expected from his team tonight. He said, absolutely, this is an unbelievable venue, a great atmosphere, and I am so proud of the way my kids battled back from adversity in that first half. I asked him what adjustments he needs to make in the second, and he mentioned specifically number 7 and number 20 for Notre Dame. That, of course, is Will Fuller and CJ Prosise. He said, we have to slow them down. They are 2 of the most premier players in the country, and worth noting, he had a big smile going to the sideline to start the half, Dan.
Thanks, Catherine. Kizer starts this off with CJ Prosise left side. Spins around, still on his feet, across the 30 before a swarm of Trojans led by Chris Hawkins, who was very active in the first half, bring him down. Prosise starts off with a gain of 6.
Notre Dame has been running a lot of plays laterally. They go out to the flanks and look for a seam to cut north and south. Not a lot of right at you running the football.
Prosise already up to 71 yards on the night with his 7th carry. This time Kizer keeps it and plowing ahead for what appears to be a first down.
So the first half, Notre Dame comes out, first play, play action, big play, touchdown over the top. Second half appears they would like to establish the running game.
Prosise was protected this week in practice by Notre Dame. This is his first year at running back. In fact, it's the only time that Kelly can remember putting a red jersey on a non-quarterback in practice just to eliminate the hits on his prize running back. And now Kizer is going to go down again. He went down twice in the first half, and a big loss here as Delvon Simmons got to him for a loss of 9.
Initially, he had plenty of time to look downfield, could not find anything, and maybe just held on the ball a little too long. At some time, that clock has to go off in your head that the ball has to get out of there, throw it away, or move. He elected to move. It winds up in a sack.
It winds up in a second down and 19 situation. Backed up at their own 28, design play. Draw run here from Kizer. That'll bring up 3rd and long. He gets 9.
Kaiser's getting more than his share of carries tonight. We were talking earlier about CJ Prosise maybe being a little protected during the week in anticipation of him having a lot of carries tonight from beginning to end.
So on 3rd and long, he's got 3 wide receivers bunched to the near side, including Will Fuller. His lone catch of the game was the first play from scrimmage by Notre Dame a long time ago. Kizer rolled it to the right. Chased by 3 Trojans, just slings it downfield. Incomplete. Corey Robinson was down there. 4th down. And Notre Dame will have to punt this time.
USC bringing the pressure again, playing man coverage behind it. Flush Kizer from the pocket. Tries to make it. He had an opportunity maybe to get that ball to Corey Robinson. Tough throw. Little fortunate maybe that the ball found the ground because it hung in the air for a while.
Tyler Newsome will punt it away for Notre Dame, and Adoree Jackson, who's now kind of shifting over, thinking he's going to get that kick to the right. It's a low one. Jackson hoping to field it, and he's just got to let it go. So again, the defense from the punting situation for Notre Dame, just keeping it out of the hands of Adoree Jackson and eliminating another potential big play from the big star from USC. So many times through the years that this game has directly determined who either Notre Dame or USC has played or won a national championship. 1st and 2nd all time in terms of consensus All-Americans. 2015 version being played out here tonight. 1st and 20, and it's going to be 1st and 2nd and longer than that, as Daniel Cage was all over Jones.
Cage just slides right off his block, sheds the blocker, goes right to the back. Also an unblocked rusher off the edge, and Isaac Rochelle, there was nowhere to go.
That's 315 pounds saying hello to Jones. On 2nd and 21, Kessler pumps it left, rolls right, pass complete, and in the clear is Deontay Burnett, one of those freshman wide receivers who has pressed into service tonight for a gain of 19.
Just a great job keeping the play alive, but Burnett catches the ball. It's all the fun starts after the catch with these guys.
He was just short of the 1st down. USC with a little tempo here. And on the ground, picking up the 1st down is Jones, and he's in the clear. Ronald Jones trying to outrace the last Notre Dame defender, but he gets it all the way down to the 6. 1st and goal, USC. Chalk up another big play. 65 yards for Jones.
Just a freshman. Jones is the speed guy, and he gets in there and busts the tackle from Rochelle, steps off of it and takes off. He gets a great block downfield by number 80 Burnett, again, who just had a reception. And with his speed, I assumed he was gone. Great job of keeping it alive by tackling him inside the 10.
Part of the great recruiting class by USC. Jones, and he's got him set up at the 7. And Madden inside the 5. 2nd and goal. Elijah Shoemate brought Madden down.
It's just one athlete after another coming at you.
So the Irish reeling on this latest big play drive by the Trojans.
And this particular big play was defensed well. It was a broken tackle and into the secondary, and that's what good athletes will do, even if you're in place to make a play.
They fake it to Madden. Kessler floats it to the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Taylor McNamara, the tight end.
McNamara will release off a hard play action. Everyone's drawn up, totally uncovered. Goal line situation, you're anticipating what is a power play off tackle. Everyone wants to get aggressive and step up. You go play action, slip right through for an easy touchdown.
McNamara's 2nd touchdown of the season. That a 5-play, 80-yard drive, and Wood knocks it through to give the Trojans their first lead since that 7-0 lead to open the game. So USC with more big plays and a strike to McNamara to make it 31 Trojans, 24 Irish. A big 65-yard run by the freshman Ronald Jones, capped off by Taylor McNamara's touchdown catch. And this is CJ Sanders coming out for the Irish. We got a flag in as Sanders is dancing around just across the 20. And look at that. They're averaging 9 a play, USC. Notre Dame not too bad either. It's 7.4 yards a play. This is Prosise. That is his 9th carry of the game, puts him over 70 yards.
And this can be the one constant for Notre Dame. North and south running the football, power football. Their offensive line takes a lot of pride in being able to move people off the ball. And CJ Prosise is a strong runner in the middle.
A big Notre Dame offensive line. Everybody 6'5" and beyond, better than 320. Kizer's pass is tipped by Cravens, who made a nice play.
The whistle had not blown yet. They blew the whistle. The whistle had not blown. There was a possibility that ball could be live. Cravens just being an athlete in space. Cuts in between the throw and gets a hand on it. I'm very surprised that does not happen more with all the wide receiver screens that are thrown in college football.
3rd and 5. Started perfect 3 for 3 on 3rd down. Since nothing. Kizer's going to be running it again, and he's going to get the first down all the way, flipped over at the 37. Marvell Tell as Kizer dashed for 23.
Just making a play because Kizer's indecisive. He's not sure of what he's seeing in front of him. Can't find a receiver. One good move on Felix, and he's off into the secondary, and then he gets a little overzealous.
You mean you never did anything like that, Doug, your playing days?
I don't think I could.
6'4", 230 pounds, end over end. Kizer picks up the big first down, and then he leaves it in the belly of Prosise. He's close to another one. Osa Messina, part of the USC defense on the stop. Another one of those freshmen there, but Prosise getting close to yet another 100-yard game. He's already had 4 100-plus rushing yard games this season. He gets the first down. And he's got another carry here. Nothing going there, though.
No, but I think Notre Dame has the right frame of mind there of trying to feel that out. Let's see if this offensive line can win the matchup up front and pound the football a little bit and get USC on the defensive.
Prosise takes a blow. Josh Adams, the freshman, is out there on 2nd down and 9. Kizer's got all sorts of time going deep downfield to Fuller, and he was interfered with. That was Kevon Seymour, who just got into the play too early.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. A 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Seymour is one-on-one outside with Fuller. No safety help because of the play action. If this ball is thrown across the field, it could be a touchdown. Instead, it's over his head. Will Fuller trying to react to the ball. Seymour grabs him early and gets the interference call. These type of throws, if there's no safety in the middle, you can just lead your receiver across the field. It makes it a much easier throw.
So Fuller, who's cooled off a little bit in the last couple of games after the red-hot starts, still dangerous. Seymour, thinking he was going to get loose, called for the flag. So now Notre Dame at the USC 36, trailing by 7, 31-24. Kizer sets up again with time. He wants Fuller again. Incomplete. Another flag is in, and this time it's Adoree Jackson on the coverage. Called for interference. So this is how you can affect the defense, even though you're not making catches.
His speed is amazing because Jackson is
Pass
fast.
interference. Defense number 2. A 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Back-to-back interference calls on what is the strength of that USC defense, a secondary.
I mean, Will Fuller gets a step on him right away. It's got to be a perfect throw. I really feel like Kizer's hanging onto the ball and letting them run too far down the field. and making a more difficult throw. You want to throw that ball just as the separation's starting to happen, and then let Will Fuller accelerate to the ball.
So they move it up after the penalty, and it's just outside the Trojan 20. Notre Dame trying to tie this one up. Get some points on the board for the first time in a while. This is Prosise fighting for yardage around the right side.
Going back to those interference calls, though, I mean, it's man-to-man coverage a lot, and they're out there on an island. It's difficult. You've got to give your guys a shot.
So Notre Dame making a little noise here at the end of 3. On the move, trailing 31-24. Let's take a look at our quarterback comparison brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company. Doug, what stands out?
Well, Kessler just being solid as a rock and steady with 272 yards. And Kizer has been inconsistent. He's hit some big plays, had opportunities for others, and just missed them. It's more big play orient down the field for Notre Dame, more controlled passing game for USC.
And since that Torrey Hunter fumble near the goal line in the second quarter, look what USC has done since. 21 points, 343 yards, but the Irish on the move here at the 18, and it's Kizer keeping it first down inside the 10. First and goal, Irish. Cam Smith, the freshman linebacker for USC, finally brought him down after a big gain of 12 by the quarterback.
Boy, so well blocked. Nelson's going to pull, kick out, follows his blocks extremely well. I would have liked to see Kizer just run for the corner and try to get that edge at the end.
Most active we've seen Kizer all year on the ground. 12 carries, 57 yards. He gives it to Prosise inside the 5 and fighting for yardage. Touchdown, Irish.
Kizer goes to the zone read, his eyes under the outside, he gives, Prosise breaks 2 tackles, 3, 4, and drive your legs into the end zone. Great effort by CJ Prosise.
Cannot say enough about Prosise in his first year as a running back. You know, he's worked on getting the pad level down. He's getting this contact for the first time in his career here as a running back, and now Yoon is on to tie it up in the opening seconds of the 4th. Tied at 31, so the momentum back with Notre Dame. That caps off a 90-yard touchdown drive, and the workhorse on the ground, Prosise, gets it over the goal line. Another classic finish between USC and Notre Dame in the 87th meeting. We'll find out. 14:20 left. Notre Dame just tied it up at 31 apiece. And Adoree Jackson is going to have a chance this time. And there he goes across the 30, and another good return for a guy that was averaging well over 20 a return before this game began. Last drive had a lot of key moments. 3rd and 5 and the big run here, Doug, by Kizer.
Biggest play of the drive. They've been struggling to get a first down. Kizer does it with his legs, breaking the pocket, then man-to-man coverage with Will Fuller, and you're in catch-up mode and take the interference call. Again, Fuller heading downfield. This time it's Jackson afraid of the touchdown. And then Prosise finishes it off with just some strong running down near the goal line. Prosise, those shots on the outside, when you're a man-to-man, Notre Dame has to take those shots.
Prosise with 93 yards on the night, and here's USC set up after the good return by Jackson. Play action for Kessler on first down. And he's got a wide open Trojan inside the Irish 40, and it's Deontay Burnett for 29 yards.
What a touch throw. Kessler drifting to his right off the play action, looking downfield, waiting for a crossing route, steps up to get a sight line, and drops it perfectly over the top.
Kessler's got 300 yards passing, 21 for 31, and that was the biggest fear for Notre Dame, was giving this guy time, he'll pick you apart like he did a year ago.
Very accurate.
Madden on the ground.
I can't tell you how difficult that throw. He had to avoid a pass rush, drifting to his right a little bit, throw back across the field to the left, and drop it over 2 defenders.
Kessler telling us earlier this week that with all the drama at USC, he heard from the past quarterback greats, Matt Leinart, who texts him on a regular basis, Matt Barkley, as far back as Rodney Peete. And they said, hang in there and beat Notre Dame. And Kessler is here in a tie game with 13 minutes left, trying to do just that. Incomplete over the middle. 3rd down and 10. He wanted Burnett again.
Sets up 3rd and long. Again, the ball does not have to be thrown down the field. It just get it in your athlete's hand.
80,000 plus waking up here. 3rd and 10 for Kessler.
Potential blitz.
Stepping up. Kessler is going to go down. Isaac Rochelle sacks Kessler.
And it was Rochelle that got the penetration initially. He comes running over the tailback, gets to the quarterback, flushes him, but keeps hustling and gets back into the play. It was a 5-man rush. The ball had to go. Nothing was open. Kessler had to hold the ball.
But a lot of pressure at times on Kessler tonight. That's the first time that Notre Dame has been able to drop him for a sack. So CJ Sanders hauls it in with a fair catch inside the 10, where Notre Dame will try to take the lead when we come back. 10 years ago, the lasting images from the Bush push. Bush push Leinart over the goal line. And by the way, the score of that game, Trojans 34, Irish 31. We're at 31 all in this latest version. DeShone Kizer was 9 years old when that happened. And he's a quarterback as the Irish begin at their own 9-yard line. And Prosise gets a big burst up the middle to give him a lot of cushion out to the 25.
Boy, the left side of the line opens a hole here. No broken tackles here. This time Nelson and Stanley on the left side get good blocks, and up and through goes CJ Prosise.
And that's another 100-yard game for Prosise. 5th of the season. 14 carries for him as they took it easy on practice on Prosise this week. And here he is again. Prosise into the secondary and being dragged across midfield. He takes Cravens into Trojan territory. Gain of 25 for Prosise.
It's a state of mind. Run the football downhill. Ronnie Stanley takes his man down and then kicks him back out. Look at the size of that hole. And Prosise going north and south.
He had 3 touchdowns last week, 2 more this week. He's got 11 on the season. And all the momentum is going Notre Dame's way. As they got on the board to open the 4th quarter. And here's Prosise again. Get all the work at the moment.
Again, that's not a physical run. The offensive line is getting, it's their kind of game now. All of a sudden, Notre Dame's had some chunk plays heading north and south up inside. The offensive linemen get that momentum going, and they want you to keep calling those runs.
So Prosise gets arrested once again. Josh Adams is on. There's the 5th game over 100 yards for Prosise. In his first year as a running back.
Double pass.
Yep, here we go. Torrey Hunter, double pass coming on downfield. That is Alize Jones for the big game. So the 2nd double pass of the night, another gadget play, this time for Notre Dame, good for 35.
But not as pretty a throw. If you can do it, we can do it. Maybe not quite as good, but as soon as you see this ball going backwards, you know Torrey Hunter's letting it loose. Another big play. Hey, this game's fun. I'm sorry. Call your trick plays, big plays all over the field.
He's got more big plays, more shifts of momentum. than any game I can remember in a long time. There's Torrey Hunter Jr. on the sidelines now, who had the toss to Jones for the big play to set up Notre Dame on the USC 12. Kizer over the head of Amir Carlisle. 2nd down and 10.
Another semi-trick play. Little pump fake for the wide receiver screen. Both defenders ran with the guy up the field, leaving Will Fuller standing there by himself in the flat, but thrown away. Play it safe. Work for another down. It's very difficult to run the ball in from this area of the field. Notre Dame may take 3 shots at the end zone.
And they give it to Prosise up the middle. He gets backed away from the 10-yard line. 3rd down and long.
I say it's very difficult to run it in that situation because even if you get a good run, it's a 5-yard gain. You're going to have to throw the ball on the next play anyway. You may as well take 2 good shots at it.
So here we go. Notre Dame going to stay alive for a touchdown here or have to settle for a field goal attempt with just under 9.5 to go.
Man-to-man coverage.
Corey Robinson at the near side. He's the guy they like to go to in these situations, and Robinson hauls it in. Ten-yard score on 3rd and 8 to Robinson.
The ball's put in a great spot for Corey Robinson to make a play on it. Out to the outside, away from the defender. Great body control and reaction to the ball. Way to play the ball in the air. That's a great catch by Corey Robinson.
And that's the freshman corner, Iman Marshall, who Kizer told us yesterday they wanted a target. He says Marshall has not seen the kind of receivers that we have at Notre Dame. And he gets it to Robinson with Marshall on the coverage.
I thought they might look at that because it was very close to that ball touching the ground. They're not.
Kizer stays in there with a hold. Justin Yoon with a point after gives the Irish a 38-31 lead. So earlier it was USC that came roaring back. Now the Irish have 14 unanswered points in the 4th quarter alone to take command again. 31 for USC, 38 Notre Dame, and that's a Dory Jackson who bobbles it at the 2. And then is twisted around at about the 17-18-yard line. And Madden skirts the left side for a pretty good gain of 3 or 4. And again, this comes off really the worst game of his career. There was the 16 of 29 performance, sacked 5 times in the disheartening loss at home to Washington. 2 interceptions, both in the 1st quarter, and you talk about bouncing back.
He's been flawless.
Low snap again. Pump once, and downfield goes Kessler, and what a play! Intercepted by QB Russell. Juju Smith-Schuster was the intended receiver, and he's down on the field.
Smith-Schuster's one-on-one with QB Russell on the corner. Outside technique, little double move. And as a quarterback, you see your best receiver out there, you're putting it up and giving him a chance. And it was QB Russell who plays the ball in the air and makes a phenomenal over-the-shoulder catch.
A couple of weeks ago, Russell said he hadn't been practicing hard enough the whole year off last year due to the academic suspension. Big play by Russell there to snatch it away. Huge play by QB Russell, the star corner for Notre Dame, who picks up his first pick since coming back from that academic suspension all of last year. This was a beauty.
Just a great play on the ball in the air, stayed with the top receiver all the way down the field, stride for stride, and made the play on the ball. and outfights him for it.
So a rare interception by Kessler, just when we're talking about how good he is, but that was really a great play by Russell. Kizer's got time, and he's going deep downfield. Fuller! Complete! And again, he burns Jackson.
I mean, this isn't open. This is a phenomenal throw with a guy. It's very hard to outthrow Will Fuller, and the two fastest guys on the field are going stride for stride, but the ball's in a perfect spot, and that's not an easy catch. Fading to the outside. I mean, how close can Jackson be to the ball?
Those are two elite athletes, speed on speed. Fuller wins the battle again. That's his third catch. He's got 131 yards on 3 receptions. So the ball at the USC 22, and that was a beautifully thrown ball by Kizer, but this time he loses 1 or 2. Messina stops him in the backfield.
It's hard to overthrow Will Fuller. He's got that kind of speed. Kizer held on to the ball. He launched that. I mean, that was a long, long throw, probably over 60-something yards in the air, right over the outside shoulder by 6 inches over the defensive back's hand.
Nice little 40-plus yard per catch average tonight for Mr. Fuller. Kizer to Prosise. Tries to spin. 3rd and long it'll bring up. Cravens, who has been active, especially in the second half on the stop for USC. 7 minutes to go.
Right on the edge of field goal range. A field goal would be huge to get a 2-score lead. So this is usually a very conservative call in this area of the field. Something that might have a chance to pick up the 1st down, but not risking a turnover.
The ball is right now, it's about a 40-yard field goal would be. Kizer trying to move the Irish a little closer. And wide open is Prosise. Trying to get to the 1st down marker, but he's going to be short to bring up 4th down. Iman Marshall, who got beat earlier by Corey Robinson on the coverage.
Plenty of pass protection, but it's a soft zone coverage, knowing it's 3rd and 12. Smart play by Kizer, dumping it to the back, getting what you can, and helping out your field goal team.
So that'll bring out Justin Yoon, the freshman, who hit earlier in the game from 32. Another 32-yard attempt to push the Irish out to that 2-score advantage. Nice hold there by Kizer. Snap wasn't exactly on target. But Justin Yoon with 5:39 left at Notre Dame Stadium gives the Irish a 10-point lead. 5:39 remaining. So Notre Dame with a 10-point lead, and Newsom in this directional kicking out of bounds with that one. Kessler rolling right incomplete.
It's a 2-score game with 5.5 minutes to go, but like you said, a guy like Jackson gets his hands on the ball and it's a 3-point game.
That's the danger that Brian Kelly knows about. But the last 3 USC possessions for Clay Helton have been 3 punts in a row. Trojans got to get it going. And get it going now. Kessler, plenty of time. Ball batted, and it's intercepted by Max Redfield. Going the other way. And down he goes deep inside Trojan territory. So another pick. It was Kivari Russell a moment ago, and Max Redfield, the one-time USC commitment, picks it off at a key moment in this game.
It may have been Kivari Russell, but it's soft zone and running with the receiver on the in route. Tight window. Kessler gets a little impatient. He finally decides to force one down the field. Russell gets a hand in there, tips it in the air. Redfield comes up with the pick, but it was Kivari Russell making the play on the ball.
Yep. Russell, who had the pick earlier, and Redfield. You talk about a guy a little bit in the doghouse for Notre Dame. He had a couple of missed tackles in the Navy game early. Didn't start tonight. Farley got the start, and Redfield comes up with a huge interception. Again, he was set to come to USC before he was flipped, and now Notre Dame with 5:20 left here, Doug, at a juicing clock.
As I said, I thought it was soft zone. The linebackers were dropping, but Kavari Russell stayed in man-to-man coverage with his man. So Kessler, thinking it was zone, threw it in that window that he thought would be open. Russell stayed with his man-to-man, gets a hand on the ball, and it's in the air and intercepted.
Second career pick for Redfield. Has got a big smile on his face tonight. Been a little inconsistent this year, Redfield, but Russell knocks it loose. And Max was in the right place at the right time. Prosise again as Notre Dame tries to drain this clock. Let's check in again with Catherine.
Well, Dan, you talked about Max Redfield and the up and down season that he's had. He's carrying an 18-credit academic course load each semester. He's learned Mandarin Chinese with the hopes of being involved in international relations. He actually said he considers being successful in understanding Brian Van Gorder's defense is more difficult than learning Chinese. Now, as for Van Gorder, he told us that Max responds really well. He's well-rounded, has a lot going on in his life off the field, and that managing time for football is a big challenge for the junior. But this is a big game for him on a big stage, guys.
Fake to Prosise. He thought about going to Fuller with a flat, and then Kizer is going to take the sack. Porter Gustin, another one of those talented freshmen for the USC defense, brings him down for a loss of 8.
It was a great job of staying home by the USC secondary. There was a pump fake out to the left, going for the home run play. It's not there. Plenty of time to do something. You cannot take a sack in this area of the field. You were in field goal range. You hold on to the ball, you take the sack, it backs you up to a 52-yard field goal. I want to see Kizer punt again.
Well,
just because.
He told us he's been begging for that job. I mean, Newsome's leg is so big and accurate. It's obviously he's the guy. And Newsome trying to put him back deep. Did they tap it back? Yes! At the 1. That was Devin Butler, I believe, who tapped it back for Notre Dame.
Phenomenal play. The ball, if it crosses the goal line at all, would be a touchback. If it crosses at all or touches, I think he got to it before the goal line.
And that's Greer Martini getting on it, but that's great hustle by Devin Butler. USC trailing 41-31. Kessler trying to give him some room. And what a hit on Burnett by Max Redfield, who's still fired up after the pick.
Well, man, he gets streaky. He has had some great games this year, and when he's feeling confident and making plays, he's as good as it gets.
Decent gain of 6, second down and 4. Trojans need 2 scores. Shovel pass to Madden. He's short of the first. Third down. Jalen Smith says, no.
Just drop it in zone, keeping everything in front of you. And Jalen Smith, best athlete on the defense, comes up, makes a short tackle, and the clock is running on these last 2 plays. Tackled in the middle of the field.
Precious time ticking off. 3rd and 1 for USC. Madden caught in the backfield for a loss. Romeo Okwara back there, reeling him in.
Okwara flying down from the backside, unblocked. No threat of a quarterback zone read here of the quarterback running, so he goes straight for the back. They don't respect the fact that Kessler might pull that ball and run. He goes straight to the back and makes the play.
So that brings the ball all the way back to the 7-yard line.
And again, usually in a conversion situation, you play tight coverage. Notre Dame might be careful and not do that, drop into a little bit of zone, just because you don't want to allow the big play being up 2 scores. I say that, and then there's Brian Van Gorder, right? There's Brian Van Gorder who likes to get after it.
He's done some interesting things, and now with a play clock rolling down inside 5, Helton says, let's get this thing gone here. Kessler waiting at his own goal line, gets it to Madden. He's got the first down, and he gets out of bounds. Clock stops at 2:19, so a little more hope for the Trojans.
It was soft zone, only a 3-man rush. Do you know how nerve-wracking it is to hang on to the football this long in your own end zone? Not knowing for sure. Finally, Madden shows, and he converts.
Kessler has shown a lot of poise tonight, 24 of 38, but he does have the 2 picks. And he's got over the middle, Tyler Petit, with another key gain of 17, and Kessler keeps him rolling.
Getting the first down is key. Clock can stop. A veteran quarterback, experienced quarterback, get on the ball and not lose too much time. They're wasting time here lining up.
Inside 2 minutes. That is Adoree Jackson out to the right of Kessler. Just keep waiting for this big play attempt here by Kessler. He's been underneath, and that ball gets loose, intended for Petit.
There just aren't a lot of big windows with a 3-man rush that allows Notre Dame to drop 8 defenders in coverage, and the windows are tight. If you're trying to force it down the field, your receivers are going to take a big hit.
Sandwiched there by a couple of blue jerseys. On 2nd down and 10. Again, USC out of timeouts, trailing by 10. Waiting for one of these big shots from Kessler to one of these speedy wideouts. Pressure, steps up. It throws near side. Complete to Smith-Schuster. Another first down for USC. They keep the chains moving. 49 seconds left.
The other approach here is get in field goal range and kick a field goal in a hurry to cut it to 7, and then go for your onside kick, leaving yourself some time.
Just seems like with a lack of time left, sooner or later, just go for one here, you know? Try to get Adoree Jackson down there. Or...
You know, he's hanging on to the ball, moving around. It just isn't happening for him down the field.
Now he's going to run this. He's trying to get out of bounds to stop it, and he will. 2nd down as he gets to the Irish 41.
Part of the mindset might be, well, I've tried to throw a couple down there, and they've ended up in interceptions, and I don't want a 3rd interception. But it's getting to the point where you need points on the board in a hurry for the possibility of an onside kick. So get in the field goal range, kick the field goal.
Kessler in trouble, and down he goes. 3rd and long.
And the clock is running.
And the clock will keep running. Okwara brings down Kessler again.
Eventually you're going to get there, but the defensive line, you get tired pass rushing every play, and eventually Notre Dame finally got there.
All of that time running off. Now we're going to be down to 20 seconds on this snap on 3rd and 14. Shovel up to Davis.
That'll do it.
And that is going to probably do it here unless, nope. Jalen Smith with a final tackle of the game, and time has finally run out on the Trojans. Notre Dame wins it 41-31. Irish improved to 6-1. Trojans fall to 3-3. USC gave them a big fight, but in the end, Notre Dame pulled away. A very entertaining game in the latest renewal of this classic rivalry.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, big plays all over the place, trick plays. It came down to, with all those big plays, it came down to the offensive line play and running the football with CJ Prosise.
Down to Catherine.
Coach, this game was full of big plays, trick plays, and a lot of momentum swings for both teams. What ultimately determined the win for the Irish?
Well, I think, you know, obviously 2 long drives, 2 90-yard drives offensively, some big plays, and then we just found a way to make a couple of plays. I think the interception by Kavari Russell was huge, got us that turnover, and really, you know, I think that was probably a big play in this game where we could slow down USC. They played great tonight. My hat's off to them, but our kids made some plays big in the fourth quarter when they needed to.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Dan?
Thanks, Catherine. Notre Dame outscores USC 17-0 in the fourth quarter to win it as the Irish defense holds the Trojan offense scoreless in the last 24 minutes. For our entire NBC crew, Dan Hicks saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium, where the Irish get it done, 41-31.